Today we're going to be doing, we're starting Handmade for the holidays. Oh my goodness. I lost my thoughts there for a second. So I'm just going to wait. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Good deal. I'm just going to wait a minute for friends to join. And I'm going to make sure we've got everything set up the way it should be. I'm making sure I'm streaming everywhere. After that one time, I'm kind of freaked out. So, hey Mom, how you doing? Yay, I'm excited for Handmade for the holidays. This week one is a little crazy, but I'm super excited, and I hope other people do it. Yeah, we'll get into it, but I'm curious to see what people think about this one. I'm excited about it. I'm a little bit addicted now too, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. How are you doing? I have to call you after this because I got some news that I got to tell you. Good news. Carol's here. Hi, Carol. How are you? Yay. Does fabric color matter? Not necessarily. If you have a color, I would make sure it's probably a light color. You don't want anything too dark. But it doesn't really matter. Lindsay. Hi, Lindsay. How are you? I miss you so much. I love Layla's Halloween costume. I've been meaning to tell you that. I just thought it was amazing. I think there's a critter in the room with me, or like in the ceiling, because I keep hearing little pitter patters. So Alfred's gonna need to get in there and figure it out. It's driving me crazy. Anyway, it's the way it goes. Oh my goodness. Today has been another day. Another amazing day. So tonight is first night of Handmade for the holidays, and I'm sorry. Oh, you know what I'm going to do real quick? Sorry. I'm just going to bring this down a little bit. I meant to do it before because that light back there is annoying. Anyway, what was I going to say? Yeah, tonight is the first night of Handmade for the holidays. I love this time because we're sort of like ramping up, getting ready for Christmas. And holiday season, and sometimes you just like need a little gift for someone, for teachers or like service workers or whatever, or just a friend, like anybody that you just want to say, I'm thinking about you and I care about you, I love you, and here's a little gift. And it's just nice to do that. So I try to think of new things every year. This year has been, I'll say, a little bit challenging for me. Usually I have like an overflow of ideas, but this year I'm like, oh, I'm not sure about this. I've just been like second guessing myself. But tonight's project I really love, and I'm excited to show you guys, and hopefully you guys love it too. We'll see. It's very different, but kind of addictive once you get going with it, like thinking of all the things you could do. Lindsay said, I miss you too. I need to send you a picture of her hair. Oh, you put pink and teal in it. She told me it was calling her inner Kassy. Oh, that makes my heart so happy. Oh, I bet she looks like a beautiful mermaid. That's amazing. I miss you guys. All right, so I guess we'll get started. Let me tell you, I wrote a supply list, and I'm just going to tell you what I have here on my table, on my table, and like some, and as we go, I'll give you some, like, if you don't want to do this, you could do that kind of thing. But anyway, let's just go. I'm excited to show you. Here we go. Let's share my tabletop. Look at this craziness. Okay, we're making ornaments. This is actually a Cassandra Louise ornament. Look at, I stitched a flower in her hair. Okay, so I'm going to teach you how to do an image transfer onto fabric, and then you can make it into a fun little ornament. Isn't this so silly? And I stitched in it, which I think is super fun. And this, I think, is my favorite part, because once you transfer the image, then you could do all sorts of stuff with them. And anyway, I'm really excited about it. I hope you guys like it, and I hope that some of you decide to do it. I also, I have, like, I'm just going to tell you, and I'm not ashamed. I have a gallon size bag of, used tea bags that are still like made, whatever, but I drink tea pretty much every day. And so, hold on just a second. Let me make sure. Something seems weird here for a second. Okay, I think we're good. And you know, and I feel bad throwing them away because I know I can make art on them and do some fun things. Like there's so many things you can do with tea bags. So I also I also put some did a transfer onto a tea bag, and I left some of the haze on here because I want to walk you through that part and show you, and then I could just like draw a little face, maybe draw a body, and have like a little tea bag lady to use on a journal page or something. So I just want to show you, like, you don't have to make, you know, an ornament necessarily or something to hang, and you don't have to sew and all that stuff if you're not into that. There's other ways we can do this. So we're starting basically with an image transfer. Okay, Robin has a question. I see paint. I didn't see it on my list, but I have it handy. Yes, it's okay. I brought this in later. You don't have to have this. This is just like an optional, like something you could do if you don't want to stitch or like sew or anything. I was just thinking of other ways that you could use this technique that I'm going to show you. If you didn't want to do any sewing or stitching or whatever, you could use paint. You could use paint markers like Posca pens and stuff. Lots of different things you can do. And depending on what surface you put it on, you know, I could use colored pencil on here, stuff like that. So I'm just trying to give you lots of options. So you don't have to have the paint, but you can if you want, for sure. So let me just get all the stuff out here. So first I want to talk about what it is. It at its base, it is just an image transfer. Okay, so here's my first practice, and of course I forgot to mirror it, so my letters were backwards. So if you're going to do something with words, make sure before you print it that you mirror it. Okay, and this one has like a bunch of like little spots missing. Okay, well, so we'll talk about why that is. And then this side, I have my little needle in here. Let me find a place to put this where I'm not going to lose it because I need it. Okay. This side, I decided to try it with, so this was a laser printer. I have a color laser printer, and I did that with that. And it's pretty, I mean, other than the spots where it like scratched off, it's pretty crisp. You know, it gives you a good, good transfer, and like you can even transfer the color and stuff if you have a color laser, or you could go take it to like a copy place and get color prints made. This side I did with inkjet, and I will say that the black parts, look at, I mean, it transferred really well. So if you have just a black and white image, you could totally just use your inkjet printer. Notice her face is all gone, and her hair is really light because her hair is like a slightly lighter gray. And so that came off mostly, but her glasses are still kind of there. Her eyes are kind of there. And this text looks really good. So, so you can use your inkjet if you just have a black and white image. Okay. So the reason I think that this part came off, because you'll see on this one, I have a couple little spots where it came off, but I think that's also part of the charm of all of this. I don't know. First of all, what do you guys think of this? Is this like ridiculous or do you like it? Does it seem fun? Let me know what you think. But anyway, the reason I think most of this came off is because I left it in the water too long. Okay. So we're going to walk through the process, the steps, and then I'll show you some other samples and other ways you can use it. And yeah, you might not be able to like go step by step with me, but you might be able to. It just depends because it does have to dry in between a step. So let's actually start with a smaller piece. Okay, so I have this one that has the hair on it. So of course, you know, I love Jane Davenport, and I'll do this one this way. How about? And she's got a stencil. It's Stencil Star Power. It's got a bunch of different hairdos in it, which is so cool. But I just took a screenshot of it. Where are my scissors? Hold on. Oh, it's cool. Thank you. Okay. I just took a screenshot of this because these are cool hairdos, right? And I was thinking I could use it some way. So I think I'm going to cut out a hairdo, we'll just do this one over here. It's easy to get to. So this is what I did for the other tea bag, but this will show you the process so you can start. Now you can do this on paper, like I said, or, you know, on other surfaces. It doesn't have to be on fabric, but I thought, how fun would it be to, if you want to give this as a gift, like to family members, if you put a picture of someone as a kid, or like maybe a wedding photo or something like that, and made a nice little, you could even do it like in a rectangle or a square. It doesn't have to be like the shape of the thing. You know, if you want it to just be easier to sew, you can hand sew it. I machine sewed this except for that bottom part. But so there's a lot of ways you can do this, but it's just so fun. And I think, you know, you can really take this in a lot of directions. So I'm just going to give you some tips as we go here. Okay. And let me know if you're like just following along, if you think you're going to do this, or if you're doing it with me, or you're like, this is crazy, Kassy, I'm never going to do this. Just let me know. Okay. So the best tip I can give you when you're cutting out your piece. So I printed this. This was on the laser printer. Okay. And, but again, if it's just black and white, you could do inkjet and that would still work, which I think is amazing. I didn't think it would work with inkjet. I had to test it out and it worked. So, I would say cut as close to the image as you can without cutting into it, because it's just less paper that you have to get off later. Okay. It's a really simple process. You don't need special material or like glue or any of those photo image transfer glues or whatever, or like Mod Podge or any of those things. We're just going to use matte medium for this. But there are a couple tips I want to give you to make it, to help you just be more successful. So anyway, let's chat while I'm cutting out here. And also let me know what you think of this project. Do you think it's interesting or silly, or are you going to try it? Are you going to do on paper or fabric? Just let me know. I'm curious to know. Okay, so this first one, like I said, we're doing on this tea bag. And so first what we're going to do, once you cut out your piece that you want to transfer, okay, so you can see I have just a little bit of a white border. I heard him. Hold on. I'm trying to see. Oh, I don't want to. I hear the critter. It's close. They freak me out. Okay. Sorry, I'm back to it. Okay. Yeah, you cut it really close to your printed area. Then you're going to take some matte medium. That's all you need. And I put it right onto my paper. And I just rub it around with my finger. You can use a paintbrush. You could use a palette knife. You just want a nice, fairly even coat. Doesn't have to be perfect at all. Let me get a paper towel here. Very interesting. Need to see how to do it. Yes. I think this would be great for Layla and Riker to make their grandparents, for sure. Yeah, that would be awesome. You could even like do a hand print or something, like have them draw something on the iPad. Oh, I love that idea. That's a great idea. And then you could even stitch over the, like if there's an outline of it or whatever, you could stitch on it. I think that would be really cool. Just so many ideas. You could even print photos and, you know, put them on fabric, and like I said, just make a frame out of it. You could do so many things. I love that idea of having them draw a picture and then you have it forever. It's amazing. Okay, so I put the matte medium onto the print, and then I put it down face down onto my material. So this is the tea bag, but if this were your piece of fabric, you put it down. I kind of press with my hand, and then I want you to take a brayer and just press over it. And I would give it some like press pretty hard. Okay. And then I'm going to flip it, and then I'm going to press again. We just want to make sure it's really, really connected to this surface. Okay. And then I'm going to go the opposite way and just make sure it's stuck down really well. Okay. So now I'm going to put this one aside, because at this point, this has to dry. So I would say if you're going to do this, I would do a few at a time. And like if you're making, you know, 2 different kids ornaments, then just do this step for all of them at once and then let them dry. Now, this is the part where I said you might not be able to follow along, but you could if you want to use a heat gun, okay? And we'll get there. I will use a heat gun so we can do the next step, but for now, I'm just going to set this one aside, and then we're going to do another one on fabric because I just want to show you both ways. So for the fabric one, I have this cute picture of Henry. Look at my sweet little Henry. This has got to be like 8 years old, 8 years ago, which would make him 8. Yes, he's probably 8 or 9 in this photo, I think. I'm going to say 8 actually because of where we were living. Anyway, I'm just going to cut out his head because it printed it bigger than I wanted, but that's okay because all I really need is this cute little face. And we'll make a Henry face ornament. And I think they'll be adorable. You know, you could also, like, I was just now thinking he loves Nutcracker stuff. I could give him like a Nutcracker body, you know, or something. I mean, you could just do whatever you want and just get really, really creative with this. So speaking of ornaments, just since we're all here, hi, Sarah, how are you? We are doing image transfers onto fabric, and I've also got tea bags here, but you could do it on lots of different surfaces, and we're making ornaments. So I was actually just going to, and then I did some like embroidery stitching. Oops, sorry, this is shaking and it shouldn't be. And put a little bead and, you know, up in the, on that spot there. And so we're just getting started, so you can follow along. And if you guys want to do this later, you know, and you need to follow the steps again, you can just come back and watch this again. Okay, so we're going to start over with fabric piece now. The first one we did on a tea bag there just to make a little art piece. And now we're going to do one on fabric. I'm just moving my needle out of the way. So I'm going to figure out, this is fabric that I dyed a long time ago with black beans. It looks weird in the screen. I don't know if it's pixely where you guys are, but it actually is like a grayish, bluish, purple kind of color. Yeah, and I dyed it with, this is like natural colored muslin, I think. And I dyed it with black bean water from after I made black beans. So I'm just using it for this because it's fun and distressy kind of. So you want to leave a little bit of a border because, you know, you need a 1/4 inch seam allowance too if you're actually going to sew this in the shape of the thing. But let's say you have an image and you're like, I just want to frame it. You know, you could have it just be a rectangle or a square or whatever, or a circle or oval. You get to decide however you want that to be. Just make sure whatever you're going to do, you're giving yourself enough room on your fabric. Okay, so I'm just cutting around his head, my cute little Henry's head. Thank you, Sarah. I'm excited. I'm really excited for this. I'm going to make a bunch of these, and I have a lot of ideas, and I just think it's a fun, good old time. Now, this fabric is a little wrinkly. You can iron it. I mean, it is a little bit easier that way, but I didn't iron mine, and I'm still going to do it, and it's still going to be fine. But if you want it to be nice and neat, you could go ahead and iron it. Okay, so I have my fabric, and we're going to walk through the steps again, okay? This was printed on a laser printer, but like I said in the beginning, this is printed on a laser printer, but this was printed on an inkjet. So if you want to just use your inkjet and you have a black and white image, it will print the black pretty well. I mean, it's pretty crisp, okay? And look at the glasses, they're not too bad. But any color in it will mostly fade away. Okay, so just know that. So you can use your inkjet, but laser is a little bit better, especially if you want to use color. All right, so you take your cutout piece of paper, and you want to cut as close to your image as you can. Okay, so that you have less paper to deal with later. Then you're going to take your matte medium, and we're going to just put a little on top. You don't need a ton. You can use your paintbrush, you can use a palette knife, whatever you want to do, your finger, just spread it around, get a nice even-ish application. Just make sure you get it everywhere. Okay. All right. Cute little Henry face. The other way that you could have some of the image like rub off later is if you don't use enough matte medium. So if you're trying to be really sparse with it, then you might have issues later. Just use a decent amount and make sure it's stuck down really well. You could use a burnisher, like a bone folder or something, to press, and press it down and make sure it really gets stuck down. But I found that the brayer is my favorite way to really press this down, and press pretty hard. You don't have to press super hard, but just to make sure you are getting a good contact with it. Okay, let's see. Oh, sorry. Robin said, show me the bottle of medium you're using. Yes, no problem. Liquitex matte medium. Any matte medium will work. Good. Okay. And then flip it back over and then brayer one more time. And I like to go in both directions and just make sure it's stuck down everywhere. Okay. Now this is wet, so we're going to need to put it aside. So now let's go back to this tea bag one. Now, before we finish this one, I will heat it up and then we'll do the next step. Actually, no, we'll wait. We'll do that first. I was going to show you something on that, but I think it'll make more sense if we do this next step first. So before we do the next step, we really need to make sure this is totally dry. Okay. And if you have any questions, please ask me as we go. Even if you're not doing it with me, you could feel free to ask questions. I have to dry this, so it's going to be loud. So just a minute. All right. I did this one first because I feel like this is pretty thin. Let's see. Will matte gel medium work? Let's see. I think it should. Make sure you have a real thin coat. Okay. Make sure you cover it completely, and then just like use your brush to gently go over the whole thing and make sure you don't have too like thick of a spot. And if you do, it will still be okay as long as you're brayering over the top and squishing out any excess. You just want to make sure you have really good contact between the paper and your surface. Okay, but gel medium should work. That's a good question. Thank you. Okay, so now this is dry. All right, so this is the right side, and we are now this is totally dry. Generally, the recommended time to wait is like just set it aside and like wait till tomorrow. Okay. But we're not going to do that obviously today. So now I'm going to put this paper side down into my water here. And I've got it's kind of cold now. I don't think it matters. I would say don't make it too warm, because that might do something to the ink, but like lukewarm, room temperature to kind of cold, just so it's comfortable for you to work in, will be fine. Okay. So this is going to sit for a couple minutes. Okay. On a tile. Ooh, I have tiles upstairs. I'm sure you could do it on a tile. Yes, you 100% could. That would be a great idea. And then you could spray or lacquer over it, or you could resin over the top of it. Yeah, that would be really cool. So many ideas. It doesn't have to be just on fabric. I just thought this is so fun, especially with the little stitching and stuff. I just have a million ideas, and I love doing little stitching while I'm sitting watching TV at night. And that's super fun. So, Lindsay said I've done it on a tile. So there you go. Yeah, image transfers are so fun. And even if, it could be like images, like your kids' pictures or family photos or whatever, but it could even just be like clip art you find online, you know, and you just want to make some ephemera pieces to use in a journal or something. Like it could be used for so many different things. Okay, I am going to test this now. So hold on, I'm just looking at it here. We're just going to give it a go and see what happens. There's some white spots, so I'm wondering if it's not quite ready, but we're just going to try it and we'll find out. So for this one, oh yeah, let's see. Okay. I just like to use the pad of my finger to start, and I'm pretty gentle with it. Okay. I'm so sorry. This thing keeps shaking. It's driving me crazy. I'm pretty gentle with it because I don't want a lot of this to come off obviously the ink, right? Some of it might, but again, I think that's part of the charm of this whole thing. So I wouldn't stress too much about it. And maybe if you are worried about it and you're like, I really don't want the ink to come off, then do a couple of test runs so you can sort of get a feel for how it is. And I think maybe this one, some of the ink is coming off, and I think maybe I just didn't let it sit long enough to dry. So that's another thing. You can just sort of, you know, do some testers and think like, oh, what did I do different this time? And maybe is that why? But you really should have pretty decent results with not too much effort. I've got a little bit coming off here, but I really don't mind. So I'm just using the pad of my finger. You can really feel the paper fibers here balling up. And while this is wet, I mean, you can obviously see right away where the paper is. Like it's, let me show you up close here. Oh, let's see if I've got a piece of white here. Let's try this. I want to show you up close so you can see what I mean. In case you want to do this, there are definitely some tips that will help. I learned some lessons the hard way. Okay, so you see how this area is darker and this spot here is like lighter gray. That just means that there's more paper there that needs to come off, okay? So you just have to keep working it until you don't see any of that. And then what will happen is you'll be like, oh, I'm totally good. I got it all off. And you'll see all black and it's all good. And you're like, I'm just going to let this dry. I did it. I'm amazing. And you are amazing, by the way. And then it will dry, and then you'll look at it. And then let's see if I can show you. Oops. And then you see more white. Do you see? This is after I thought it was good. So you let it dry, and then you check it again, because there almost always is going to be a little bit more fiber on there that you just didn't see. Okay. So I'm going to set this one aside. It looks like I got it all. Let me see if I can show you. Look at how nice and dark that is. That you're like, oh yeah, I did good. I'm awesome. I'm amazing. I am amazing, by the way. So are you. And also, there's going to be more haze. It's just a fact of life. So what I like to do at this step, you need something with a little more grit, but not too much. So I like to take a piece of my scrap fabric that I'm working with, just dip my finger in the water just one time. Doesn't have to be too wet. This is dry, okay? And then I'm just going to start rubbing. And you're going to feel and you're going to see more little paper pieces start to come off here. And just be nice and gentle, because I am starting to take off a little bit more of that black, but it's also okay because this is just a fun little art project and it gives it some more character. But I'm also taking off more of that paint, okay? And I can always go over that with some black marker or something. No big deal. And then I'm going to dip it again, just a little bit of water, and I'm just going to keep working until I'm sure there's none left. And then I'm going to let it dry again. And then I might see more, or I might not. This might be the last time. And then once all your haze is gone, then you can start decorating. You can paint on it. You can do the little embroidery stuff, whatever you want, okay? One way I like to give it a final test is like, now it looks nice, right? It looks like all that haze is gone again. Okay. Now I just kind of gently rub over it with my thumb, and you can sort of feel where the fibers are. Oh, like right here, there's some. So I'm going to roll gently. And then over here, oh, I see a spot that has a little bit of haze. So I'm going to get my fabric out again. And this just gives it just enough grit to really get those yeah, there it is. It's rolling right off. Get those little fiber pieces off without taking all of your ink off. Excuse me, nose is itchy. Okay. All right, this is feeling a lot better. So this is how I do it. And then I just sort of feel around, make sure it feels nice and smooth. When it feels like there's fiber on here, it just has a little bit of like a rougher texture, just a little bit of a rougher texture, not much. Okay, so now this one's looking pretty good. So now we're going to let that one dry. And we're going to go back to this one. This one is still really wet, but I do see hazing already. So I'm going to get this out and just get it a little bit wet. And we'll just take one more stab at this one, and then we'll put it aside, and then we'll go back to Henry on the fabric. Okay, so this is really what you're going to do. And honestly, you could like sit at the dining room table, excuse me, you know, have your TV on or something, or music playing, or talking to friends or family or whatever. And just, it's just sort of mindless work. Like, you do need to make sure you're being careful, but you can do other stuff too while you do this, which is kind of nice. Oh, itchy nose. Okay. So there we go. This one's looking better, but I bet it's going to have some haze when it dries. Let's go back to Henry here. And this is pretty wet. So let me just make a dry sort of space right here on my tray. And I'm going to dry this with the heat gun so we can see what it looks like on fabric, okay? And I flip it both ways. I think if you have like old family photos of your like parents or grandparents or whatever, I mean, those would make great ornaments for your tree. Or if somebody got married this year or had a baby, or, you know, anything like that, those are all really great reasons and things to make just little, these could be like even gift toppers, you know, you make a little ornament for them and put it and like tape it to the top of their gift. That would be super sweet. All right, I think this is pretty well dry, and also super original. And you know, like, they're not going to get this from anybody else. That's for darn sure. Oh, my nose is so itchy. I'm so sorry. Okay, so this is dry now. If you're going to use a heat gun to dry it, I would definitely say heat both sides. Okay, so now I'm going to put it in the water and kind of dip it in. Don't be afraid. You're just trying to peel off that top layer of paper. Renee is here. Hi, Renee. How are you? I'm so glad you're here. Sarah says, speaking of ornaments, oh yeah, girl, you are very excited about that, and I'm so excited too. Yes, thank you for reminding me, Sarah. So I don't think I posted it yet. I'll post it after we're done here tonight, but we are definitely going to do the ornament exchange this year. So the way that it works, in case you haven't participated in the past, is you will just send me a private message, or you can even respond in the comments of the post when I post it later today. It'll just say ornament exchange and gives you all the directions. Marty, hi Marty. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy to see you. I can't wait to talk to you and see you for real, hopefully soon. So anyway, for the ornament exchange, if you want to participate, then you will send me a message or comment below the the image and just say, I want to do it. And then you can private message me your address, and then I'll get a list going of all the people that want to participate. And then I'll pair you up with someone. And then you send each other an ornament, and the only rules, it has to be handmade, or like you could buy an ornament blank from like Michael's or, Joanne or whatever, like a clear or white or whatever, and then decorate it yourself, add glitter, whatever, you paint on it, whatever you're going to do. Or you could make one of these cute little fabric ornaments, whatever you want to do. It just has to have your hand in it somehow, as far as like, your art style and a little bit of handmade-ness. So those are the only rules. And you have to send your ornament out by the end of November. So I'd really like, if you do want to participate, if you let me know soon, then I can get the list going and get people matched up. And so yeah, then you send each other ornament. And then if anyone wants to send me an ornament, I will send you one back. So you just let me know if you want to, when you give me your address, say you want to be in the exchange with someone else, and I'll match you up. And then if you want to share one with me, that's great. But if you don't, that's fine too. But anyone that sends me an ornament, I will send you one back. And I'm very excited about that. Yay. So, and I forgot to put my tree up. Darn it. So my tree will be up for next week for sure. It's down here, and the room will get organized eventually. So my tree will go up, and I'll add all the ornaments from the last 2 years. I think we've done it 2 years now, right? And you can see all the ornaments other folks have made over the years for me, which has been really amazing. So, all right. So thank you for mentioning that, Sarah. So definitely ornament exchange is happening. And yeah, let me know if you want to be in that. So this has been sitting for a few minutes, and I can almost see his face through here. And that's how I kind of know that it's ready. Let me get a drink. All right. So now you can start to try to roll from the edge, but I find that I have better luck if I start in the middle, and I just kind of scratch a little bit in the middle until I start to see this. Let's bring it up close. Still till I start to see that paper rolling. Okay. And I'm going to have to put this down to actually roll it, but this is all you're doing. You're just rolling off the paper, and you just want to be gentle with it so that you can not take your ink with you as best you can. And you're just going to roll and roll and roll. Oh my gosh. Henry's head on an ornament. How adorable is that? I might make him a nutcracker like hat or something. I don't know. So cute. He does love nutcrackers. He gets to pick one out every year at Christmas time. He's got a whole bunch in his bedroom. And he keeps them out year round, which is fun. I think one year I got him a kit to actually like paint his own. He didn't like that as much as just getting one already made, but I liked it. Okay, part of his hair is coming off. That's okay. But I'm starting to see his face, which is very nice. And I like to use my finger to roll as much of this off as I can, just so I can like be really specific about the amount of pressure I'm putting on here, Oh, I'm losing some of his hair. I think that's happening. So a couple reasons you might lose some of your ink that I found over time, over doing a bunch of these. If you didn't let it dry long enough, which is probably what happened here, if you leave it in the water a little longer than you should, or if you're pressing too hard. Those are the 3 ways I found that you can kind of lose some of your image. But again, it's, it's just a fun little ornament, and it's really okay. And if you really don't like it, you can try to roll all of it off and start over, or you can just get another piece of fabric or paper and do it again, and keep practicing till you get something you like. Okay, I'm losing a bit of his hair. Oh my gosh, he's so cute though. Look at this cute little face. My sweetums. Okay, so now I'm getting to the point where I can really see his face pretty well, and it's like, oh, did I get it all off? I know I didn't, but it feels like it. Let's see. Did you? Oh, okay. All right, sorry. I'm getting distracted by bugs. This is just not right. Anyway, okay. Did you say if using inkjet to print in black and white? Right. Yes. If you're printing a black and white image, you can use your inkjet, and this is what you get. It's a slightly more muted black, but it still looks really nice, I think. Here's the comparison. So can you see the difference? It's just a little bit lighter, but you can definitely do it. This is an inkjet. This is laser. Okay. You can do it with black and white, but color, it doesn't work. As far as that's been my experience anyway. Okay. I think I'm going to let this dry. And see if that helps me not lose more of his hair. Because look at, he's losing a little hair there, but it's still super cute. Okay. So we'll set this aside to dry. So yeah, that's really it. So then once you have your image or your transfer done, sorry. So let's say he's all done. Okay. Then I'm going to actually dip it and get that excess off there. I'm actually going to scrunch it up and get the excess water, and it's going to be okay. So cute still. And then what I do, and it'll be a lot easier when this is dry, but we're going to just try to cut this while it's wet so I can really show you what I'm doing here. Maybe I'll dry it just a tiny bit. I think it turned out good. Oh, good. You're going to post yours when it's, oh, good. Okay. I can't wait to see it. I'm so excited that you did it along with me here. I'm just drying this a little bit so it's not super wet, because I want to tell you what the next step is if you actually want to make like an ornament out of this. Okay. And even on this ornament one, you know, like if I wanted to paint in the eyes or in the mouth or put little dots here or there, you can still paint on this too. I just think it's so fun. Okay, so now what I would do if this were totally dry, so just bear with me, is I would cut around it, and I would leave a pretty good border because you got to sew it. Okay, so just leave a nice big border, at least a 1/4 inch, but I would say more, probably like 1/2 inch, just to be safe. And, you know, I'm not being very particular. It's fine. Okay, here we go. So this is the front side, obviously. And then what I do is go and cut another piece of this fabric. Just get another piece that's going to be about the same size. And, or you could do like it would be really, I just thought of this, but it'd be super cute if you were doing like Christmas ornaments and you did, you know, the solid color on the front, and then like a pattern on the back. That would be really cute. I think I might do that actually. So many ideas. The ideas are flowing. I know this is kind of a silly project, but I loved it so much. I just couldn't resist. And I had to do it. So I really hope that some of you make some of these ornaments and share them online, share them in the collective. That would be amazing. I want to see what you make. It'd be so cute. So once I don't have my sewing machine down here either, but you could also hand sew, whatever you're comfortable with. So when you're ready for that step, then you've got two pieces. You've got your front piece with the image transfer on it, and then you've got your backing. You're going to flip it over so that the outside backing is touching your image transfer. So this will be on the inside and the end. Okay. And then you sew all around, you leave an opening, then you flip it through, and then it will be sewn like this. Okay. And then it'll be sewn. And then you take your opening and you've got your filling, whatever, and you fill it up. and then you sew the piece that was open, and then you end up with something like this. Oh, but actually, let me back up one step. I forgot about this. If you want to do any embroidery on here or any stitching, like I did a little flower in her hair, all right. If you want to do your stitching, obviously you can't. I mean, you need to do it before you sew it together. So while it's still just this front piece, once you get all the hazing off and you're really happy with your transfer, then you come in and take your embroidery floss or thread, whatever, and whatever colors, make your little patterns. You could just like go around the face. You could do like a nice little zigzag border around the edge, whatever you want to do. And then you would sew it and fill it and then put it together, and make sure you put a little string on the top, like my sample here. And then I did like a little wooden bead and painted it just to add a little bit more decoration, but you really can do whatever you want with this. So super fun. Yay. I love this project. Okay. As I go and make more of these, and when I finish the Henry one, I'll for sure share it. I'm going to move this stuff out of the way. And what if we just play with these? We've got a few more minutes left together. I think. Hold on. There's a little bit of hazing left on this. I'm just going to try to get it real quick. We can always dry these pretty quickly, but I wanted to just at least play with one of these and like maybe give her a face or a body or something, just to see what we could do. And this is just a tea bag. I love this. I'm so excited. I found a fun use for my gallon bag of tea bags that I have. Alfred's always teasing me about it. What are you going to use those for? I'm like, you never know. You just never know. Okay. Here we go. Let that dry. I think that's pretty good. Pretty good. Okay. So I'm going to move this big old tray out of the way. Any questions about this? It's pretty simple. It's just, there's just a few steps, and then just some of the tips there with the hazing and stuff is just really helpful. Okay, hold on. Let me move this. There's water on here, so I'm trying not to spill. Okay, here we go. All right. So now let's try this and play a little bit together. How's everybody doing? What is it, Tuesday night? How was your week, and anything interesting? I think I learned here that we're going to have like warm weather for the next few days, which is lovely because I don't like cold. All right, let me dry these real quick. I was just thinking while I was drying this, it would be really fun to use some good colored pencils on here to draw on, just because you could get nice, crisp, fine points. All right, let's see. What do I have that I could use here? 1 second. Okay. Is anybody else creating, or what are you doing? Like, what are you guys doing right now? I want to know. I know Mom is making an ornament. I know some of you are just watching. Are you making other crafts? Or Carol, are you doing Christmas cards? What are you doing? Talk to me. Okay, let's see. I've got a bunch of markers in here that I can choose from. Let's see what I want to do. I think I want a dark color to start, like maybe a black. Let's see. Are there really no black markers in here that I can use? There's lots of markers. I want a thin black marker. What is this? Silver. All right. Well, maybe I can use a different color. Is there black in here? Sorry, guys. Are you telling me all about your days? No, you're not. That's fine. That's okay. All right. How big is this marker? Okay, this is a pretty good one. Let's see if we can give her a little face. I'm going to be quiet for a second. Sorry. I don't usually make faces this small. It's kind of hard to do, to be honest. But it's fun. It's fun to practice. Oh my gosh. It's so hard to do. Okay, let's give her an eyeball. Whew. It's so tiny. Do you guys draw this tiny ever? It feels difficult for me. Okay, I'm going to outline her hair. Ooh, what if I make no, I'll leave it black. I was going to say, what if I make her hair a different color, but I'll just leave it black for this time. This is a cute hairstyle too. I really like that stencil. I'm always struggling with hairstyles for ladies. Well, for people in general. Anyway, how's it going? I posted my transfer. We'll construct ornament tomorrow and post. This could be addicting. Yeah, I'm so glad you like it. That's great. I'm excited to go see what you made, and keep posting. If you make more, I definitely want to see them. It's super fun. I'm glad you liked it. It is fun. It is a little, I know it's a little strange, but it's super fun. Just give it a chance. All right, let's see. Is she going to have an outfit? What is she doing? Okay. I don't usually draw the whole body. How about, oh, she's going to have a skirt here. Okay. And there's a little waist thing, and then Okay. She doesn't have to have feet. She doesn't have feet. I'm not good at arms, so only because I don't draw them enough. Oh, she's got a big arm. Okay. All right. This is a silly girl because I don't know what I'm doing here. This is me out of my comfort zone right now. Because I don't do whole bodies. I guess I need to. Oh, she has way more than 5 fingers too. All right, I have to show you what I did here. This is so funny. I really love her though. She's hilarious. Okay, hold on. Let me fix her hair. This is silly. Okay, I have to show you. Just finished coloring in all my Santas. Oh, good. Now trying to find the correct glue to add glitter to Santa's hat and suit. Any suggestions? I'm using Tim Holtz Rock Candy. Okay. Thanks for sharing, Carol. Let's see. So you're making Christmas cards. That's wonderful. Will you please share them in the group so we can see your beautiful cards? Let's see. Correct glue to add glitter. Okay. I would say if you have, hold on, because I want to think about this for just a second. So there's a couple ways you could go. If you had something like an adhesive sheet where it's like just adhesive on both sides and it's got the protective paper in between, and you could cut out that perfect little shape, cool, that would be amazing. Or die cut it. If you want to use wet glue, I would say like art glitter glue or barely art glue, or this express glue from Sizzix is amazing. Or even that scrapbook.com, that little tube of glue works really well because it's kind of sticky when it dries too, I think, and it could hold some glitter down. So yeah, any of those would work great. You're using Tim Holtz rock candy. That's a great glitter. Oh my goodness. Did you get the big one with the fancy jar or container this year, or you just have the other one? Very, very cool. Thanks for sharing. Okay, here's my girl close up. I never do bodies, so this is what we get today. But look at how fun this is. We did the transfer. I mean, like on this one, right? I could take some paint. All right, I got this paint out. You know, I could put, if I don't want to do stitching and stuff, I could stitch on this. It's just a tea bag. I'm sure I could, I'd be really careful, but I could stitch on it. I could also, whoops, make sure my paint is working. There it is. Ooh, baby, neon funky paint. Here we go. I could give her a little flower. Look at her hair. It has a cute little flower. And then I'm going to put this yellow in the middle because that looks adorbs. Hold on, I got to clean that nib a little bit. There we go. Ooh. Okay. Okay. So there it is. So there I put a little flower in her hair with some paint. Again, I could use colored pencils, you know, to do some work. I could use like Inktense. I could use woodies to decorate. This could, and then this could go in a journal page. You know, if you, I mean, I just did a girl here, but if you did like a Christmas tree or a poinsettia or whatever, this could go on the front of a card. You know, if you're doing like vintagey Christmas cards, so many things. You could even like, you could put a teapot and a teacup or whatever on here, and then maybe, you know, or maybe have it folded in half, even put a teacup on the front, and then like put tea bags inside of it and put it like on a card or something, and have it, you know, have it be for like giving tea for a friend or something. There's so many ideas. So just think about it and make some image transferred little gifty things for your people. All right, let's see. I read Mod Podge Ultra is great for glitter to adhere the glitter and then spray again on top so it doesn't shed. Mod Podge Ultra. Now that's the spray, right? I mean, it technically would work because it's an adhesive, but if you want it to be in a concentrated area, you might have to like get it out with a paintbrush and like paint it where you want it. Because if you spray it, it's just going to kind of go all over. But definitely it will work to glue. You just have to be careful how you apply it, I guess. That's all I'm saying. But that's a great idea. All right. Oh, Carol said, perfect. Thank you. Just the small jar. Yes, very nice. Yeah, that big jar is awesome. That would last you a long time. And it's cool and old-timey. So anyway, all right. So this is a fun, funky, very non-traditional type project idea, but I really like to throw those into. And hi, Sarah. How are you? We're just wrapping up, but if you want to watch the replay, we did some image transfers to make fun little ornaments. And you can do it on fabric. I did it also on tea bags. You could do it on paper, on tiles, on all sorts of things, and you can really customize Christmas gifts for your people, for your family and friends. You could do all sorts of. You could do images, like, you know, photographs. You could do. Lindsay was saying earlier she's going to have her kids make art and then transfer it onto something to give to grandparents, stuff like that. You could put it on gifts or on the tree or whatever. So lots of great ideas. Thanks for joining us, but we're going to wrap it up now. Also, just to remind you that we are doing the ornament exchange this year. So if you want in on that, I will post right after this. I'll post the image. You can comment below that you're in, but then you also still have to send me a private message with your address, and then I'll get you on the list. And and pair you guys up as November goes on. I would like to get you guys paired up by next week so that you can start mailing them by the end of the month. But that's up to you. So anyway, Sarah says, I figured I was out for double bubble drinks and Taco Tuesday. Well, that sounds amazing. I'm a little bit jealous. So that's awesome. I'm so glad you got to do that. Lindsay said, have a wonderful night. It was so nice to have your voice in the house again. Aw, thank you. Thanks for joining me. And I love all of you very much. I'll see you definitely next Tuesday. We will have another installment of Handmade for the Holidays. It will be something a bit more traditional, but very cute and fun to make. So I hope you'll join me 7 p.m. next Tuesday and have a wonderful week. Bye, everybody.